everyone, my name is Vlad Măcelaru, I'm from Brasov as well. I think it's the first time I'm presenting our project here, and it's a complete pleasure for me. I'm here to represent Team Clark, and I will start in a different manner than my usual presentation because my slide with the team went a bit wrong when we tried to merge them and so on, so I'll present my team first. Myself, Vlad Măcelaru, 26 years old, based in Brasov. I've studied in the Netherlands and Japan. I was Romania's youth delegate to the United Nations. I work with two other guys from Brasov, Alexandru Șolot, former Fitbit engineer, currently master's student at Cambridge University, Ionuț Moldovanu and Costea Costin, also two engineers. They worked for the European Space Agency before. In total, it's 8 of us. I'm proud that we're not only guys in our technical startup. This is always a plus and a differentiator. Now, let's cut to the chase. I'm here to present you the Clark smart glasses, and they're augmented reality glasses, and I would like to make the difference clear between AR and VR. Is this difference clear for everybody in the room? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, let me be sure. In virtual reality, you will be immersed in a digital world, whilst in augmented reality, I can still see you, and I have another layer of digital information, which I will show you in a bit. Now, we're creating augmented reality glasses with sensors for industrial use. Why is this? Because in the context of Industry 4.0, the complexity of tasks increases, the cooperation between humans and robots increases as well, and one other problem that we have specifically in Romania is with trained technicians, they're getting older, and there's not a generation of technicians coming up to take its place because of the professional schools and so on. Now, we try to separate expertise from execution, which means basically for field technicians and field operations, if you might excuse me for 1 second just to put on my glasses. Okay, sorry, that was easy. Now, I can see all of you, and I have a display here, plus the sensors that I was talking about. What are the use cases for such fancy glasses? First of all, in logistics, we were discussing with Fan Courier at some point, for picking and sorting in their Tunar warehouse, you get a box, the glass scans it, the QR or the barcode, it tells you directly where the box needs to end. In oil and gas, we had a test with OMV Petrom for detecting gas leaks. We have a sensor that detects volatile compounds as well as a thermovision camera. And right now, gas leak detection in major oil pipes in Romania happens like this. You have a person that walks around the pipe, maybe 10 kilometers in a day, and just touches the pipe. Wherever you feel a cold spot, you have a leak. Now, that's why we use the sensors for. In the automotive industry, and more generally in manufacturing, we can use AR technology for trainings, much cheaper, saves time, and also for receiving informations and instructions real time on how to operate, how to troubleshoot, and so on. Everything that my glasses see, everything that I see, is also streamed in a platform. The data from the sensors, the live stream from the camera, the data from the thermovision camera. So now I guess it's the time to tell a bit you about the functionalities. Besides all the connectivity that you would expect, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 4G for the field operations and so on, continuous QR scanning, a head-up display, as I see, so it's a head-mounted device. It has its own battery, we don't need no cables for it. My hands are free. I can live stream. I have an environmental sensor that gives me information about temperature, humidity, volatile compounds. I have a laser that measures distance. I have a radar that senses the materials that the walls are made of. So based on the texture, on the density, I can tell if a certain wall is wood, it's glass, it's metal, and so on. This is mainly used for search and rescue operations, or the name we give for military. Then we have bone conduction audio. Are you familiar with bone conduction audio? It's basically a system that transmits sound through vibration in your skull. And this is very helpful in factories because usually you have your ears covered or there's a lot of background noise going on. And it's kind of hard to explain the sensation that you get, but it's like hearing from two different sources. So whatever you hear from bone conduction will not affect your ears. Thermal vision camera, which I mentioned, very relevant. Also in the energy field, we're working right now to pilot our product, and we're looking for elements that overheat, that might damage or might cause a hazard. We're looking to check solar panels with the thermal camera to see whether they're working or not. We have a patent pending from this product. We've been working on it for the past 2 years. I thank you. Thank you. Would you like to see the glasses? Of course I can, they're mine. Please, Jonas.
Good to see that the product has evolved a lot since the first time I saw you speak about it. There's a couple of concerns which most likely you might have addressed if you had more time. So I'm just going to ask about all of them. One thing, what's the battery life for a device that's doing all these things at the same time? One second. Have you considered having just one of the functionality, I mean, making it easier and less consuming to only have like a QR code if that's the only one necessary, or just the gas and oil sensor if only that's what's necessary, and so on? So yes, customizing it based on the specific use cases, but also because of the battery life, actually. And final, most important question, what do you think the final price tag off the shelf will be for such a helmet?
Great questions, Ionuț. You're helping me a lot here. Our battery life is between 8 and 10 hours, so a full shift. That's what we were aiming for, compared to Google Glass HoloLens 3-4 hours. Good. Now, in terms of sensors, everything that we've built from the beginning, hardware and software, is modular. We have all these sensors on the prototype because it's a demo prototype. Whatever sensor you need or different resolutions from the camera, we can add that. So the whole idea from the beginning was for it to be a modular product. And the last question, the price tag. We're going to operate as augmentation as a service. So basically it's going to be a monthly subscription, but if I have to give you an answer now, top of my head, it's going to be somewhere around 3,000 euros for a pair.
Where are the glasses already in use, or did you make some proof of concept and so on?
Currently, as we speak, we have 4 pairs of glasses that are deployed. So we have one with OMV, we have one with the European Space Agency, with GSA. They're testing the GPS. We're using Galileo. And 2 other are at a Dutch consulting firm, and they're trying to implement our solution. They're developing software for the HoloLens, and they're trying to pitch our solution to their clients.
How long a human being can wear these glasses without having a stiff neck?
That's a good point. From what we've tested, we could go for 6 hours, but we're really passionate about it. They're not really heavy, as you mentioned, but we're going to improve the ergonomy of it. So right now we only have one rubber strap around the head. We're going to have a different support across the head, or maybe we'll have a wheel system like in protection helmets. This is our 9th prototype, and we're now developing the next. Thank you for the question.
Hi. Here. I love. So it's strange. Yeah. You talked about a lot of sensors, but how is this product defendable if someone from China is taking the same sensors and making it for 10%?
Great question. So some of the sensors that we buy obviously are off the shelf. The environmental sensor that I mentioned is Bosch, for example. The laser is Panasonic. Now, the sensor board itself, it's our proprietary technologies for which we have a patent pending. So we developed the circuits and the design. We produce them in China for the prototypes, and we assemble everything back here in Romania. So it's quite hard to replicate in the same manner what we do, also because we have the software component. I would believe it's pretty hard to replicate our sensor module. Plus, one extra addition here, we can use the sensor module on its own, not being on a glass. You can put it on a wall, you can put it on a tractor, you can put it on a drone, and you can monitor a certain process. Our USP are the sensors, and be sure that they're quite protected.
Are you a hardware company or a software company?
We're an IoT company, and I tend to say hardware, but if I would go even more in details, we build sensors.
Okay.
First of all, congrats for the pitch. Second of all, have you ever thought about designing your own sensors here in Romania?
We didn't think of this because obviously it would require a lot of time and money, but in the future, if you know better, let's talk afterwards. But in the future, there will be something that we would like to do, definitely.
Sure.
Thank you.
So you say you have a couple of pilots. Are there pilots just to test your product, or is there a business, like if everything goes well, they will buy a certain number or a certain amount? Is there a contract behind
So
this?
we have a commercial contract in place for 2 of the pairs already by the company that wants to be an implementator of our solution. And the tests that we run, the pilots, we're looking for feedback so we can build our last prototype, which might be a lighter version of this, that we can scale up production with. So with iterated prototypes, right now we're gathering feedback, build the final prototype, start production. And that's the point where we need the capital.